Hi guys, I wanted to make a short little video to go ahead and introduce myself and to go over some basics about the class. In essence, I wanted to go over some of the things that people generally ask me on the first day of classes when I teach this class face to face, so that you understand what's expected of you and how the class is going to work. Okay, so my name is Dr. Jackie Amarim. I've been teaching this class since 2008, and I've taught many iterations of the class, and I enjoy teaching the class. So the class is technical and professional writing. What that means, in essence, is writing for your workplace. So it's not an English class, it's a class meant to get you ready for your career. So you're studying a technical field. You have a whole major meant to teach you the technical aspects of that field. But in real life, when you start your job, you're going to be expected to write on the job. And people think all the time, I signed up for a STEM type class because I don't like writing. I don't want to write. But unfortunately, that's not how life works. You will write. You will write a lot. My husband is a computer engineer. He's a programmer, and he spends at least 40% of his workday every day writing. The kinds of things that you write in the technical professional workplace depend on the not just your field, but the workplace specifically that you're working at. But there are some basic things that we will cover in this class. So, for example, might write letters, memos, emails, reports, meeting minutes, specifications, instructions. Those are some examples of the kinds of things that you would write in a technical workplace that when you showed up on day one, your boss might think you already knew how to write, and this class is meant to help you sort of prepare for that. Okay, so I want to go over some basic things that will help you sort of understand how the class is going to work and, what kind of commitment I need from you. So, number one, you do need the book, okay? You are going to be quizzed heavily on the book, and also you're going to be expected to know what's in the book when you do the assignments. So, I have included the information about the book in the syllabus if you click on the syllabus tab. I've also included a link to buy the book directly from the publisher if you don't want to buy it from the FIU bookstore. It doesn't really matter to me, but you're going to buy an online book. There are maybe $1 difference between the two. Whatever you feel like doing is fine with me, as long as you have the book. And yes, you do need that edition. You need that book, okay? I picked the book because it was one of the more inexpensive books, if not the most inexpensive book. And I also picked that book because the chapters are actually pretty short compared to some of these other books. Like, there are chapters in your book that are like 10 pages long, where the same chapter explaining the same thing in a different textbook is like 40 pages long, okay? So I did my best to be fair in price and in like how much reading you're going to do, but you're expected to know what's in there. When you are given a chapter to read, you're going to be quizzed on that chapter, and then you're expected to know what's in it when you practice that assignment. So, for example, when we read about memos in your book, you're going to get a quiz about memos, and then when we write the memos, I expect you to know what the book says about memos. I will have videos for you throughout the semester, but I'm not going to repeat word for word what's in the textbook because that would be redundant and boring. Instead, my videos will often add additional examples, explain things that I think are confusing in the book, or help you learn how to apply what the book is saying to the assignment that you're about to do. And then throughout the semester, my role is obviously really supportive to make sure that, after you've read the chapter on reports and watched my video about reports, when you're writing the report, are you interpreting it correctly? And does your report look good? Does it look like a good document? And what feedback can I give you to improve before I grade it? Okay, so that is important. You need to have the book. You need to commit to reading the book. Number two, this is an online class. A lot of people take online classes because they think they're going to be easier, especially a lot of people who have committed very seriously to lots of other classes and also work. And I just want to be honest that is generally not the case. It is actually in some ways more work. The way that an online class is less work than a face-to-face class is that it's flexible. You don't have to commit to being to the same place, same time, every day, right? You have more time and flexibility with how and when you do the assignments. However, in some ways it's more work because something that you might have just asked me face-to-face and I would have answered face-to-face, now you have to write me an email or a message and I have to respond to you in an email or message, and it ends up adding a lot of like extra energy to understanding the same principles. Not tons more, but there's some more. Okay, and so the class is definitely not a throwaway class. There is work. People do fail the class. They 99.9% of the time failed the class for not doing the work. It's I don't think I've ever had a student fail because they did the work and did it so badly that they just failed. I have had students not do the work and then they fail. And so it's really important that you can do the work, okay? To help you, I'm going to do a few things that I want to go over, and this is important to understand about how the assignments will be timed. Number one, everything in the class will be due generally on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. This is to help you feel the rhythm of the class and also to not try to juggle 200 different due dates. If it's a Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, something is probably due for me, okay? And this is also important because one of my roles is giving you feedback and helping you improve. And I will give you practice assignments. So, for example, when we're writing memos, you'll write practice memos that I will give you feedback on before you write the big memo at the end of that module. And to give me time to respond to your practice memo before you try to write the real one, I also have to have a rhythm too. So it's important for you and it's important for me that you turn something in, I have enough time to respond, then you turn something else in and I have enough time to respond. If everybody in the class is turning in things at different times, it's way too confusing for both of us. So it's important that it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. There may be 1 or 2 times throughout the semester where something will be due like on a Saturday or a Sunday, but that will be incredibly rare. I'm going to try my best to keep everything on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Also, that means that things are generally open in 48-hour chunks. So Wednesday night by midnight, you have an assignment due. That will have opened Tuesday morning at 12:01. So you have all day Tuesday and all day Wednesday to do what's due Wednesday night. Then Thursday morning, the Friday assignments will open, and you'll have all day Thursday and all day Friday to do what was due on Friday at midnight. So that's just basically the way it's going to work, and it's meant to help you and help pace you, okay? Additionally, last thing I sort of want to go over is collaboration. So the class does have collaboration. That means 2 separate things. When we are in each unit, you have discussions. Studies have shown that when students see each other's work, they generally learn from each other in some ways more than they learn from the teacher, okay? And this is a real class. I'm a real person. I'm not a program. I'm not a robot. I have to be a real person who's going to be reading every email you send me, every assignment you turn in, and giving you feedback on it. And you have real classmates that are really at FIU. So in the assignment, in the modules, you will often have an assignment that you have to answer, and you can't see anybody else's answer until you've answered yourself. And then once you post your answer, you can see everybody else's answers, and you will often be asked to read other people's answers and comment on them in some way. So this is a good way for you to learn and see examples. So if maybe you didn't understand something, now you can look at the way other people did it, and maybe that helps it click for you how to do it more effectively. Also, we'd be getting feedback on people other than just me. I will give you feedback too, but it is good to have feedback from other people. And in the technical and professional workplace, in the real world, you will be asked to give people feedback. You don't have to be an expert writer for someone to ask you, can you read this and give me your opinion? And that's what you will do in this class, okay? In a bigger sense, towards the end of the semester, there will actually be group projects. And I know everybody hates group projects. But in the real world, there's a lot of group work, okay? So this class is going to help you learn some of the strategies to minimize problems in group work, and then how to deal with problems if they come up with group work. If you were like on a job and you had to work with a group at work and the group was not working well, what do you do about that? So we'll go over some of that stuff when the time arises. But group work is really important. If you think about anything technical or, just anything in our world, there's a lot of group work. So think about like the iPhone, right? One person did not program the iPhone. Teams and teams and teams of people program the iPhone. So it's just impossible to work in any workplace completely alone. You will have time when you are alone, but you will not have 100% of your time to yourself. For example, I'm in front of you right now by myself, but I have lots of committees and meetings and other situations at which I have to work with other people at FIU. So that's an important part of the job. When you are at a real technical place, you might meet those people face to face, but you might not. It might be such a big company that you actually communicate over the internet or intranet, via IM and video conferencing and so on and so forth, because of people's schedules or because the building is so big or so on and so forth, that you just cannot be face to face with that person. So the online class actually gives us a good opportunity to practice some of that stuff. So you will communicate in writing and through conferencing, video conferencing and stuff when it's time for the group work. All of this to say that some of this stuff actually makes the class more enjoyable, believe it or not, but this is the kind of thing that is going to be expected of you throughout the semester. So it's important that you understand that. A technical point just before we go, if you look at the tabs in the Canvas shell, the most important tab for you will be modules, always. If you know there's a quiz due, you could go under quizzes. If you knew there was a discussion due, you could go under discussions and try to find it. But modules is where I'm going to post pretty much everything, and I post it in the order it's due. So if you just go to modules, you'll find everything that's due. The other option is to go to the calendar, and you can find links to everything that's due, like on a calendar, so that you can see visually what's due when. But the most important link for you is modules. You need to just learn always to go to modules, okay? And lastly, again, I said it kind of as a joke, but I mean it. I'm a real person. I'm really here to answer your questions and to help you in any way that I can. Do not hesitate to reach out to me if you have questions or concerns. We can always communicate via email. We can Skype. We can do whatever we need to do to make sure that you understand what you need to understand and that you're prepared to succeed in the class. I'm here for you guys as a real teacher who can help you in many ways if you just reach out to me for help. Okay? Welcome to the class. Go ahead for Monday. You go ahead and read the syllabus after watching this video and take the syllabus quiz and introduce yourself to the class. And then Wednesday, we're going to go ahead and start with Chapter 1. Okay? Welcome.